Good afternoon to one and all present out here. My dear students, fellow colleagues, respected director, sir. And to introduce Dr. Ashok Yende, I will be falling short of words because this is under the aegis of Center of Academic Leadership and Management that we are organizing this webinar titled The Future of Legal Education and Profession in India. Let me introduce you briefly about Dr. Ashok Yende, the distinguished speaker of the event. Dr. Yende served as a professor and head the Department of Law, University of Mumbai. He has been instrumental in establishing the University Mumbai Law Academy, and after retirement he has started his own law firm called as Yende Legal Associates at Mumbai and working as a managing partner. He belongs to the Vidarbha region and has started his career with the Nagpur University Law Department and had headed various law institutes in the country, including SLS Pune, KC Law College Mumbai, Raisur Law College Nagpur, Balaji Law College Pune, and Law College at Ahmednagar. Besides doing LLM from the University of Mumbai and PhD from the Pune University, he has successfully guided 8 students for PhD in law degree, and he has to his credit 7 books and many publications. He has worked as a member of Governing Council of Government Law College Mumbai and first professor of Chief Justice M.C. Charla Chair on Human Rights in the University of Mumbai. He has participated in various national and international conferences, including conferences organized by the UNO, Ash Center of Harvard Kennedy School, and represented on committees of various universities and United Nations. His work has been recognized through various prestigious awards like the National Law Award in 2014 and by the International Council of Jurists. He is also being awarded as the Person of Eminence Award 2015 by Women's Economic Forum, then the Mahatma Award in 2019 by Live Week from USA. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have with us Dr. Ashok Yende from Mumbai. Over to you, sir. The
Yeah,
audience is all yours. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
So thank you, Professor Nikhil, for a kind words about me. I am laudable, Professor
Yes,
Nikhil.
you're audible,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
good
absolutely.
afternoon, all of you. And it's really a great privilege to address the students of Symbiosis Law Nagpur, and that too on an emerging topic of future of legal education and profession. I had an opportunity to be associated with, as rightly told by Dr. Nikhil, for a brief period of Symbiosis Law School, Pune, and it was a very enriching experience. I want to express my gratitude to Professor Nikhil and Director Sukhvinder Singh Dari for providing me this opportunity and for inviting me for addressing the students. I really admire Dr. S.B. Mujumdar, founder of Symbiosis International University, for bringing change into the higher education. And I also appreciate efforts of Dr. Sheshikula Gurpur, who is instrumental in bringing paradigm shift in the legal education, particularly making it more relevant and clinically oriented. I congratulate all the students. I recognize the presence of faculty members who are there who may be attending this webinar lecture. And I congratulate all law students for choosing this discipline, demanding discipline, which may perhaps bring them fame, fortune, and prosperity. Because in our time, it was a last option. It was not by choice. And now we have taken by choice, going through a rigorous process of entrance examination and many other things. Now, students, as you know, I'm briefly mentioning about the legal system in this country. You know where the important components. We teachers, students, lawyers, judges. We are the important component of the justice delivery system in this country. And after independence, you may be knowing that we borrowed this Anglo-Saxon common law system, and we also adapted the many things like including the dress code. Black code indicates authority, then white clothes or the bands, it indicates the goodness and the purity. And even the word milord, though now Bar Council of India has made it optional in certain circumstances, so we borrowed from this common law system. Not only that, we have also adapted plural abbreviation of LLB called as legdom baccalaureus. So that is a Latin term. So all these things we adapted because we were ruled by the Britishers that time. And even that time it was a jury system, and but jury system was abolished in 1959 because of the famous Nanavati case, where it was defended by a very eminent lawyer who is no more now, but we cannot forget his contribution to the development of the law in this country. So that case was defended by Advocate Senior Counsel Advocate Ram Jethmalani, and then there was some charges of corruption against the juries and like that, and naturally that is jury system was abolished in this country. Now, recently and now the existing law, you know that there is Advocates Act 1961. So it established in 1961 this law regulates single class of people, that is called advocates. So advocates, they are regulated by Advocates Act 1961 through Bar Council of India and through state councils at various states. So that is in brief the structure of this legal education. Now, in any democracy, there are bound to be a rule of law, and you must be studying in the law colleges, law schools. What is rule of law? It is a set of principles or ideals for ensuring orderly and just society. And there is a very old magazine, very established, universally established magazine, rule of law. Nobody is above the law, and all are equal before the law, which also we have enshrined in our Indian Constitution after the independence. Now, for enforcement of all these laws, there are bound to be certain machinery like laws, quasi judicial courts, tribunals, and other machinery. And all these laws and rules and regulations, they are being taught in our law schools, and we call it legal education. This is the entire, in brief, in simple language, the structure of the legal education. Now, in India, is the next to USA, it is the biggest network of the legal professionals in the world globally. Yeah, with around, I am giving the figure, 1600 law colleges, 24 national law schools, many leading law schools like Symbiosis, 12 lakh, around 12 lakh students studying in various colleges in various levels, maybe 3 years and the 5 years, and around 12 lakh registered advocates. In Maharashtra, registered advocates are 1 lakh 76,000. Now, why I am calling it registered? Because there were few advocates who were fake advocates and who were registered, and that's why Bar Council of India had now directed to make the scrutiny of the documents, and recently all the scrutiny is over. So that is how I have mentioned the name. Now, all admissions through law schools, you must have gone through undergone through that process of the entrance examination, whether at the central level, state level, CLAT, or the MSCT, or the Symbiosis entrance test. So you have to take the admissions through this process of the entrance examination, and every law school has, whether some law schools is having the 3 years, some law schools is having the course of the 5 years, but they have got different flavor, they have got a different culture what is there. And I appreciate all the law schools. Maybe same shift in the legal education after the establishment of National Law University in 1987. And the entire whole credit goes to Dr. Madhava Menon, who was instrumental in bringing this concept of the National University. 1987, and along with that, there are around 24 national schools and then leading law schools like Symbiosis and many other schools. And they are conducting this 5 years integrated multidisciplinary course. It's a residential course. I don't know in Nagpur, but it's a residential multidisciplinary 5 years course. And character of the law schools, you know that why this was the concept which have been introduced by Bar Council of India through Dr. Madhav Menon, because unless this or the character of the law school students, it depends the character of this bar and the bench. So your level, your standard, and the bar standard of the bar and the bench depends on the standard of the legal education in this country. And so you are the torch bearers. I think I feel I will tell that you are the torch bearers of the entire system, because originating from law schools, then ultimately you will be advocates, and from advocates team, some of the advocates may be elevated to the High Court and the Supreme Court. So there is the importance of the legal education in this country. Now, in our times, the education was mostly means almost everywhere it was the 3 years, because 5 years was not introduced, almost all, and it was the last option, and almost curriculum. And there was no practical, nominal, some practical was there like that. Actually, it was virtually a theoretical exercise. So it was not there like that. Now there is a total new paradigm shift and new approach to the legal education in this country, maybe even globally. Now it's a multidisciplinary curriculum with law and social sciences as recommended, as suggested by the Bar Council of India. You must be studying law along with the social sciences, maybe sociology, psychology, economics, all these things are there. And there was some reasoning. there was a reasoning given by the Bar Council of India that unless that particular advocate or the judge knows about this, for example, I am just mentioning in simple language that suppose there is a case regarding the compensation. For computing the quantum of the compensation, you need to know these principles of the economics. So economics is essential. You want to punish award punishment to a particular offender. So always punishment is particular limit, like up to life imprisonment, up to capital punishment. It is not life imprisonment in all the cases. It depends on the circumstances and facts of the case. So you should have the knowledge of the sociological development, psychology. So all this, that's why medical negligence. Judges and advocates are not supposed to know about the medical jurisprudence or the technical knowledge of the medical. That only experts will be able to guide judges and the advocates. So this was the concept which has been brought into force in this country. It is a very innovative concept, and I think doing well in almost all colleges, and students are benefited, and judges and advocates are also benefited. And there is a lot of emphasis on the clinical legal education. I think then more emphasis is given to the something which is out of the classroom. In our times, almost all 90-95% time was devoted to the class teaching. Now, some exercises are there which are out of the class teaching, and Madhavan rightly said that you can learn only, you can better learn by heart only. So you can better learn by experience only. That is the true education. Now, in many cases, like Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Sharad Bobde also suggested that emotional intelligence or artificial intelligence, how far it may be implemented in the law schools and the legal profession, it may take some time. It's a question of all these limitations, because there are many political constraints, all these things are there, and technical constraints are there. But degree, law degree is not only important. Along with the law degree, you should have the advocacy and the other skills. I'll just give one example, small example. There are many examples. Consider only degrees. The basic qualification may be degree, but along with the degree, they consider your skills and innovation, your ideas, your research for admission to the various eminent institutions. And I think this is one of the example where you need to know about the changing parameters of the legal education and the profession in this country. Now, it take one simple example I will give. I am a legal academician, now joined legal profession after retirement. So I used virtual conference on UN food system on 26th March. Then one was virtual conference on Commission on Status of Women from 16 to 27. And 2 days before 29th March, I was NGO speaker in one of the conference on aging. Now you see, this is totally diverse subjects, not connected to the, I am a legal academician. But all this, whether the food summit is there, status of women is there, then rights of the old people, which was actually related to the human rights of the old people. So all they were distinctly not directly connected with my field, but they were, I can develop my acumen with the subjects which may not be a strictly speaking legal subject. So it gives a lot of benefit to me in my life, in my career. Now, changing phase of the legal education, that you have to go beyond the traditional education. I understand that we came from the traditional education. Myself, we came from the traditional education. Dr. Madhava Menon, who is no more, but we appreciate his the greatest contribution in the development of the legal education. He was also from traditional colleges. Our present Honorable Justice Bobde sir, we were from that front. Now, after pandemic, corona pandemic, whether before pandemic or after pandemic, before pandemic also there was a change in the structure of legal education. After pandemic, again there will be a lot of changes will be there, which you must be visualizing. So global pandemic, naturally it has created havoc with the lives, health and the safety of the people. And it has created many challenges, not only challenges to the science, medicine, other innovations and the inventions, but even to the legal regime. And I sometimes feel that our legal professions or even other people from other sectors are unable to respond adequately to this particular crisis. Otherwise, this thing would have happened. That means we have to learn lesson. Many things were not bad. Lot of it's a dangerous crisis was there. I understand very serious crisis was there, but we should learn from the experience that we need to change ourselves. Even in the legal field, I think that's why this is virtual hearing. If Corona would not have been there, it would have taken at least 10 years for converting into virtual hearing or the e-courts. We were only discussing on the seminars and conferences like that. I also attended many conferences of the virtual courts, but actually it happened only because of the Corona, and so these were some of the benefits or because of the Corona. And there is a need to bridge the gap between theory and practice. When I was in academics, actually, when I joined profession, I think there are a lot of gap is there. They need to bridge this gap actually. Unless you bridge the gap, otherwise you are going theoretically, substantially, after passing, then you will be junior, you will join some chamber. Again, it will take 2-3 years. So the course will run into 7 and 8 years like that. So this new structure, the structure which in law schools, leading law schools like Symbiosis, so that is really beneficial because we are trying to bridge the gap between, just like medicine, medical. So we try to bridge the gap between legal profession, legal education, and the legal profession, because their procedure law is something different than the. We need theory. I can understand. We know some concepts. We know some. We want to know some theories. We want to know the substantial law, but much more different is there while you join the legal profession. You will understand when actually you will join the legal profession. Now, because of this corona, about the future of the legal profession, you will feel there has to be use of the technology, and it actually started. Virtual courts have actually started. My son, who is also happened to be advocate, he is also attending virtual conferences, virtual meetings, virtual appearances in the Bombay High Court. So we need to have the technology, and I understand. I hope that you must be techno savvy. Then that day rightly Justice Dr. Dhananjay Chandrachud said while making presentation of the virtual course that he is learning from his juniors like that because they are more techno savvy. So I hope that you are techno savvy more than us probably, because it was not now we are learning. So they need to have a technological knowledge. It is very essential. And then social media skills, data analysis, data security, design thinking. These things were never in our times, but now it has to be very important component of the legal education and legal profession. Now you have to be profession for becoming a professionally competent. Not only you have to be sound in your knowledge, academic knowledge or theoretical knowledge, but you have to be competent, a technically sound and socially relevant and professionally competent. Socially relevant means you should need to the needs of the society, as rightly said by Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud while making the presentation, that how the need of the, he explained everything like that, the virtual code, the mechanism of the virtual code, how is to be registered, then various centers open in the presence of Chief Justice of India, Justice Sharad Bobde. So that is how he also mentioned the need of the virtual code, because now it has been a part of the system. So income tax. When I joined this profession, I am now coming to know that there are very lot of scope for the international arbitration, and the fees you cannot imagine the fee you get in this some of the international activities. Then Lok Nyayalay, because I always feel that every time it should not be only for the money, career, and the packages. You should also look from the social point of view. So Gram Nyayalay, Lok Nyayalay is there. You can also participate so that you can get the lot of exposure. Then only consultation. Many lawyers only doing the consultation, earning a lot of money. In Mumbai, now I am speaking from the Mumbai. This is all credit goes to this virtual platform, and you'll find in our place when I was in Nagpur. I am from a small place, and Professor Nikhil just now told that I am a small place from Vidarbha region. So that time they used to charge just 500 rupees or 1000 rupees for drafting a particular document. In Mumbai, I have seen that for drafting a document, even I could not imagine that they are charging for a good document. Of course, with good document or the good purpose, they are charging 3 lakhs rupees. See the difference. So this is how that means lot of how this lot of, so it depends. You have to plan properly in the profession, and then joining social platforms. Likewise, I am joining. I have got my NGO connected with the United Nations. So joining, it may not get any money like that, but a lot of exposure you will get. You get connected with the many people. You get connected with the international community. You get connected with the people all over the world globally, and this is the advantage of the all this virtual platform. Then working with the international organization, I will suggest, I will guide if possible, International Court of Justice or International Court of Criminal Court. So there are many more. I have just mentioned few. You can get at least internship you can do, and you will get a lot of exposure and lot of scope is there for working there. And many Indian people, they are excelling in their own field. In many, you know that many people are one dean of the faculty of Harvard University Management is from the Pune. You must have heard. So they are excelling in their own field in the foreign country because we are very dedicated and committed. We don't get sometimes proper opportunities. So lack of opportunity. Otherwise, we are also equally good, I think, academically and technically. Now, I suggest what I personally feel that we should go beyond the technicalities like that. But it gives you a lot of perspective. Like, so there can be commercial. When you are joining the law college, you want to become a lawyer or you want the social work. But social work, social platform gives you a lot of exposure. Social work and the community work that I have been connected with so many people. Don't think that you are not having well versed command over the English. I studied in a vernacular language in Marathi from Vidarbha region. So don't feel that you are from a official area, you are not, you don't have good command over the English, and then you will not be successful lawyer. You will find that in legal profession, sorry to, and with due respect to the senior counsels, many are from the small places, they are from the traditional courses. Now they are the leading lawyers of the country, successful lawyers and the judges, they are LLBs of our own time. So but they have got that skill and that knowledge, that innovation, and that's why I may not become, they could become like that. So these are the things, there are many things you have to go beyond, out, we call it out of box, you have to go beyond all these things, and technical it is like that. And now there's courts in this country. Now law is there, we have accepted the system, we are revamping and restructuring the legal education, we are restructuring legal profession, and all these things, technological things are there. In spite of that, sometimes I feel that we are unfortunate that we are not able to remove some of the shortcomings and loopholes in the system.